Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from my side. This is Professor Dr. Huma Shah in front of you all, and welcome to the World Eye Club. So, today is the last but not the least session on sustainable development goals we have. So, ladies and gentlemen, and esteemed guests, and my beautiful family, today we gathered here again for sustainable developments to take an action. Yes, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Global Talk on the Sustainable Action Program organized by the World Eye Club Global. And we are honored to have our lovely guest speaker from United States of America. But before introducing her, I would like to add some key and interesting points on the topic we are going to discuss today, which is about SDG 70. Yes, today we are going to cover partnership for the goals. So let's explore that how collaborative efforts can drive the progress towards achieving the sustainable development goals. Today, we will definitely make sure to discuss and to emphasize the importance of partnership and collaboration to achieve the SDGs. We will try our levels best to enhance the points regarding enhancing the international cooperation, how to mobilize financial resources, how we can share the knowledge and technology, how we can build the great capacity and strengthening our institutions as well. So without wasting a single time, without wasting a single gap, let's welcome to our very own, your very own, very familiar coach, Janelle from United States of America. She is expert in sustainable development goal, and she is also an author, and she is a wonderful personality. And I am highly looking forward to know and to listen her perspective that how she will address the key important points on SDG 70. Because as you believe, as I believe, as she believes as well, that it's the time to take an action. It's the time to start implementation. And it's the time to grow up. Stop doing discussion, stop doing talking, and take an action. So let's take an action. The first action is to welcoming Coach Dina. A warm welcome to you, dear. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, hi, hello, and good morning, good evening, wherever you are globally. It is an absolute privilege, as always, to be here with Dr. Huma Shah. She is such a wonderful support system in providing us with these platforms to share all of this information and to present the challenges, to overcome the challenges. And as always, it's a privilege that I am here with you today in the World Eye Club Global. If you are not familiar with me, my name is, as she introduced, Danelle Boyles. I am in the United States. And I am the carrier of many hats and professions, which help me implement my role and goals in achieving not just the collaborative part of SDG 17, which I take very seriously in everything that I do. My work globally has been directly involved in partnership for the goals for the last probably 4 years. It's been a very important part of my life, my process, and everything that I do as a humanitarian educator, a holistic practitioner, consciousness coach, and I'm also an author and an artist. I work very closely with many areas globally that are highly impacted by the dysregulation of partnership. And this involves partnership of all global supports that's necessary to lift up and to make the goals of the SDGs obtainable. So, as always, like I said, I'm very privileged to be here today and share with you the information that I am. I love presenting um, different different forms of presentations, but today I am just speaking with you because I feel like a lot of times whenever we are involved in so many of these conferences and master classes and such, we become very focused on our PowerPoint presentations. We become very focused on presenting numbers and categorized information, and all of that is very important whenever you are working to figure out what you need to do in order to increase the numbers universally for success. But when it comes right down to it, our voice is the most important tool to connect with other people. And so I am presenting to you today with just my voice and some examples and directives on how you also can become involved in helping us with partnership with the goals. So with SDG 17, Partnership for the Goals, for myself personally, this is probably one of the most important goals to work on, to attain. And the reason for that is because without partnership for the goals, none of the other goals will fall into place. In order to obtain success on all of the other SDG goals, we have to have partnership. And this partnership has to happen not just in your relative space and professions and education systems, it has to happen globally. And so for me personally, this is why it is the most important goal to work on and attain success at. SDG 17, Partnership for the Goals, aims to strengthen the means of implementation and to revitalize the goal partnership for sustainable development. We all know what sustainable development means. It emphasizes the importance of multi-staked partnerships, and this can include governments. It includes just regular civil society, private sectors of different organizations. We need all of these to incorporate and collaborate in order to really achieve the success of all the other 16 SDGs. The goal recognizes that increasing international cooperation and collaboration is crucial. I really didn't think a whole lot about the whole 2030 agenda. I don't like to think of things as agendas, because whenever you put into perspective that something is an agenda, people tend to turn their attention away from it because they feel like it is something that is intended to control them or to place individuals into segregated developments, and that's not true at all. The 2030 agenda is simply to bring all of humanity up into an equal state of being. And this means to help eradicate crime and poverty, lack of education, carrying out the peace process where we eradicate the need for war. And those are all things that are very important to live in a civil society. So as an international collaborator, I am in a multitude of organizations as my aim to connect as many people globally and to be on board with bettering humanity by utilizing our professions, our experiences, our knowledge. There are many places in our world that do not have access to even basic education, basic human rights, food and our basic human comforts. So by utilizing my own personal professions to introduce new ways for others to obtain personal growth, education, and development of equal rights is very important to me personally. I have dedicated a lot of my time personally to help educate through nonprofit organizations in order for this to happen, to help raise the collective tone of happiness, success, and peace. And all of those things are very important in mainstreaming partnership for the goals, because it requires a collective effort to obtain those things in order to bring peace and eradicate war and other things that cause poverty and lack of education. So the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development has been adopted by all the United Nations. We all know all of the details, most of us know. Some of us haven't really dove very deep in a lot of the details. We just know that it's something that we are guided and led to do. It's in our human interest to just better humanity. And so a lot of people have not really looked deeply into what is considered the 2030 agenda. Like I said, a lot of people don't agree with agendas because it seems like you're trying to control the population. And we're not trying to control the population. We're trying to better humanity and better the population. And with that, it requires gentle approaches with basically just spreading the word and positivity and support with all of the SDG goals. And again, 17, Partnership for the Goals, is, I feel, the most important one, because we all need to be in partnership in order to better humanity all across the board. So, as I was saying, the United Nations, they all became members beginning in around 2015, which has been, a handful of years now. And so globally, this is taking action. And has been building kind of like a wildfire as humanity is becoming more conscious, more aware of how to address the many challenges that are facing humanity. Because whenever you are looking at things from a perspective of an overall large picture, it's very difficult to see how you as one person can make a change. But by outlining all of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, we can kind of break it down, and individuals can kind of pick and choose like how they can benefit in helping to share their own personal knowledge. So with the main target of all of the SDGs being aiming to achieve peace and prosperity for the people of the planet. And this is what it boils down to, is that we want peace and prosperity for people and the planet by 2030. And we're making huge strides in this. The 2030 Agenda seeks to eradicate poverty, protect the environment, and ensure a more sustainable future for all people, not just the cliche groups of individuals that want to have a better life for themselves. It's for all. This is a global effort. So the 2030 Agenda provides a framework for international cooperation and action to address global challenges and build a more sustainable and prosperous future. It's a roadmap. And basically, it's the roadmap for individuals, for governments, for businesses, for civil society, for individuals to work together to achieving a better world by 2030 by introducing a collaborative effort to make it not seem so overwhelming for an individual feeling that they can't make change on their own. Believe it or not, this requires a very small but very powerful number of persons to dedicate themselves to making a massive impact globally. And this is, Again, not just for the betterment of themselves, but this is for the benefit of others without a personal agenda to gain from it monetarily or otherwise. They're not looking to become famous. They're not looking to become wealthy off of it. It's a completely selfless act of humanitarianism. And so partnership for the goals can present itself in many forms. This can be personal, professional, political, and environmental approach that requires one to look outside of the typical normal human interaction needs and expectations. Going back to working with humanitarian organizations, when I first put myself in the position of putting myself out into the global perspective, I was not prepared for what I was going to be met with. And so on a personal level, it makes me emotional because when you introduce yourself to see the discomforts that many people are living with globally, it makes you want to jump into action, and it makes you want to introduce ways for these people who are living in very unsustainable environments. It makes you want to help no matter where you are in the world. And this is where partnerships for the goals comes in. You have to be prepared to partner with individuals that make you uncomfortable. So as a global partner through many organizations, I'm very proud to be of that percentage that is tipping the scales, that is creating the change necessary to improve the lives of others and to raise the collective purpose. So by introducing conscious pathways globally, we are hive-mindedly producing and introducing a more healed, self-sustainable collective. And having awareness of our responsibility to help obtain this outcome is very important. And so that is why I am speaking on SDG 17 today, because partnership for the goals, to implement them, to obtain them, to sustain them, is not an easy task. And it takes actual conscious effort in order to uphold these partnerships and to keep it going. So I would like to I would like to continue, though. I get a little emotional whenever I talk about these things sometimes, because I have seen through my work entire communities completely turn around. I'm sorry, I have to take a drink. I've been struggling with allergies and colds, and I'm finally starting to get better, but I lost my voice for several weeks. So this is one of my first speaking engagements since being well again. So anyway, back to the SDGs. Ending poverty and hunger, realizing human rights, protecting the planet, achieving economic growth and social inclusion, promoting peace and justice. These are all parts of the SDGs that we are trying to achieve and obtain every day with our work. And I would like to invite you that if you have not made yourself familiar with how you can help, you can in some of the most simplest ways, and many already are making these changes. It takes as little as 1% of the human collective to make that shift. It only takes 25% to actually hold the changes that have been made. So 25% of our population, 25%, and many of you are already making changes in your daily lives that are producing an outcome. Some very easy ways that you can help establish and sustain any of the goals is just by your own personal growth and development. As a consciousness coach, I work globally with people everywhere that initializing your own healed self is the first and foremost most important beginning that you can start with, because when you heal yourself, then you see the reasons why you need to help others also heal themselves. Developing the conscious awareness of empathy for fellow humans who are struggling, and also healing the state of feeling like it's not my problem and I'm just one individual, and coming to the realization that we all are actually one, and it requires every single one of us to take action and to hold that action and sustain it. So, will you join us today for Partnership for Globally Eradicating all the things that hold your fellow human back from living a peaceful, happy, fulfilled life?
Exactly, exactly. That was so amazing. And that was exceptional and clear message. Even while you were speaking, I was thinking to ask a couple of questions. That, okay, I'll ask this question later on to Dina. But later on, you have described each and every point in a very brief and descriptive way that I don't need to ask that question because you have already answered and highlighted each and every particular thing. So I agree with that statement, particularly that together, if we really want to do something, if we really want to change, just not only depend upon talking and discussion.
Mhm.
Together, we can achieve more than we ever thought possible. Because a partner for sustainable future is begins from your soul, is the way that you heal yourself first at your first priority. First we need to calibrate with ourselves, with our soul. First we need to unlock that key which is actually locked from inside.
Mhm.
Then the other partnership for the goal is going to be started. So brighter yourself
Absolutely.
will be more sustainable. Yeah, exactly. So as all say, as you say always, and as you highlighted that united we stand and united we thrive. Now this is a very normal thing. So I believe that SDG 17 is basically not just a goal, it's actually a call to action for global citizenship, for collaboration, for partnership, not only for all these things to do some work and to start doing some businesses and to do the partnership in a specific way. No, it's about to contribute, it's about humanity, it's about successful examples, it's about driven progress, it's all about you, it's all about me, it's all about you, it's all about all of you. It's just about to promote yourself, it's just about to be confident in your skill tone. I believe that this is only the way that we can achieve any of the goal. So thank you so much, Dal, for your insightful discussion. Beautifully, you have addressed each and every point on SDG 17 particularly. And I'm very honored and highly privileged that your expertise and you have briefly described and highlighted the critical role of collaboration in achieving the SDGs and all the things now.
Yeah,
So to
that's
our
so important. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
partnership.
that's most definitely.
Yeah, even, like partnering, the relationship that you and I have developed and built, and becoming part of, the World Eye Club Global, and working together, providing master trainer courses and, um, informational podcast, all of these things become such an immense reflection of what is happening in our world. And I, and even I have days. Everybody thinks that I don't have days that I fall back. That I struggle to see and understand and still continue to do what I do. Um, because the number of classes, conferences, podcasts that I've done in the last 3 years has been immense. And, after a while, you start to think, am I still making a difference? Am I still making an impact? Am I still providing information that is beneficial to the growth of society? And the answer is a resounding yes. You may be tired. You may be beaten down by feeling like you're not making a difference, but you are making a difference. You're making a huge difference with each and every person who benefits from your educational standpoint, that benefits from your energetic standpoint. There could be someone even just watching today who is in an absolute struggle of trying to find their way of seeing how they fit into the big picture of all of this. And the thing is, we still have to focus on the individual drops of water and resonation of the effect that we have on an overall planetary vibration. And one drop is all it takes to begin the resonation. So every single one matters. Yeah.
Exactly. Most definitely, I concur that let's work together to build strong partnerships and drive progress towards a more sustainable future. And I believe that today is the last program for this session, which actually we covered the different SDGs. And we provide and we try our levels best to give you the best possible outcomes to how to take an action, because the theme and the most important perspective and vision of this program is that it's time to take an action. We have already taken an action, we have already started working on that as well, but you don't need to you don't specifically, you don't need to take a rest or to just start knocking at the door, that the door will open and give you a lot of opportunities. No, this is not the way. You can start from your house, you can start from your home, you can start from your ground, and you can start from your community as well. This is not mandatory, that's not necessary that you have. If you are not working globally, that's not mean that you have to do each and everything in a very flourish way. Just do as it was written. We need communities, we need the individuals, we need the personalities who really wanted to do something and stop doing discussions in talk. So that is all, and that is all our mission. And by the grace of God, we have fulfilled all the things, and a lot of things are already lined up. So, Janelle, we appreciate your time and expertise, and your contribution to this discussion has been invaluable. Yeah. So, thank you for sharing your knowledge and inspiring us to work together towards achieving the SDGs. Not particularly 17. It's about our planet. It's about the world in which we are living. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much, as always, for providing us with this amazing platform to collaborate, share, and grow on.
Exactly. So, okay, everyone. So, very soon we are going to start another sessions on mental health training. What is mental health? Is your mental health as important as your physical health? You need answers. We have a lot of questions to answers as well. So see you in the next session. Very soon we will upload it all the things on social media platforms, and we will cover and try to answer each and every queries as much as we can. So thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so much, Janelle, for your wonderful and prestigious time as well. Until then, take care. Bye bye.
You. Bye. Take care, everyone.